Hi there, welcome back. So a little technical hitch. I decided to make the recordings like I have. I've forgotten the way I did it before. So just a new recording. So I think that's easier. Whatever. I won't go into why. It's not that exciting. Okay, so what automatic behaviour do you want to change? Okay, so you've got an idea. So the way you're behaving is this autonomic nervous system. You get pattern responses that when A happens, you do B. X happens, you do Y. You just go down a certain way. So if you remember, we talked about this picture when we were talking about adrenaline. I'm going to move it forward a little bit so you can see it much easier. Information comes through the spinal column and into your brain and into the thalamus. So this is in the centre here, and then it goes out into all the different places. Now if you remember when we talked about adrenaline is made in a 50th of a second. So it goes from the thalamus to the hypothalamus, pituitary, and into the adrenal glands, and boom, it's being made. 50th of a second. So that happens with all your responses. Wherever it goes, it tells the hands what to do, or the eyes what to do, or whatever you've got to do. Your brain is telling them instantly how to behave. So this happens super quick, depending on what you have already learned. Put it there so you can see it. Okay, so this always comes from your past, your history. So if you think about a piece of music that you really love, as soon as you hear it, you go, oh wow, I love this song, it's amazing, and you go all happy. Somebody else with a different history might hear the same piece of music and go, oh my God, I hate this song. It reminds me of that time when that terrible thing happened. So depending on your history, it's dependent on the response that you get from that piece of music, that stimulus. So that happens with everything that comes through your senses. So if you hear loud voices in the house, depends on your history how you're going to respond to that. So if you have loud voices, if you've got a history where you had a loud family and you live in a busy house, loud voices might be exciting, and daddy's home, great. But if you live in a house where it was scary and loud voices meant you were in trouble, it could be abusive, for instance, whatever, that loud voice that comes up at you gives you a different response. So you then start, am I in trouble? What's going to happen now? So again, depends on your history. It's a historical response. You are responding from your past, not from what is happening now. This happens with everything you do. So you see a spider, I'll do the ceiling since it's above me, spider running across the ceiling, and you might go, you've got three responses really to spiders that you might, behave. You might go, oh wow, look, it's a spider, I love spiders. Some people really love spiders. It's like, wow, look, it's hanging down, oh look, gonna grab it and play with it and whatever. Okay, some people really like spiders, right? And then you might go, yeah, it's a spider, so what? Ignore it. It doesn't really matter. I just, see one scuttling across the floor. It goes, oh, it's a spider. That's as far as I go. But if you are frightened of spiders, you'll go, oh my God, it's a spider, quick, run! Never do you think you could go, and the spider's gone. That doesn't consider. You're too busy running away like a crazy person. I'm a vegetarian, by the way. I am quite nice. I don't kill spiders. I like spiders. So just trying to throw it out there that you can do this response, but you don't actually consciously think about running away, hurting a spider, that you could kill the spider. You run from the spider because that's the response you've learned. It is dangerous, therefore I run. So you get these responses come from your past. At some point you learned that spiders were afraid, or you learned that they were exciting. So you might smell a fire. So sometimes fires might remind you of Grandma's house. My grandma had an open fire, and when I smell fire, it's quite a nice, comforting smell. You might remember being at Scouts, or Cubs, or Brownies, or whatever, Girl Guides. and have that type of nostalgia thought about it. Your house might have burnt down in a house fire. You're going to have a different response. So you see, it all comes from the past. So you can get that with any one of your senses. Anything that comes through your senses tastes. So for me, the taste, the historical taste of aniseed, of Pernod, every time I taste something aniseedy, it goes, I feel sick. Bad mistake with Pernod once. But you can have that with everything and anything. So any stimulus that comes through your spinal column, we've also got touch as well, anything that comes through your spinal column, when you've got that, you automatically respond because you remember what it's like. If you burnt your hand on a fire, you are not going to touch that fire again because you remember how it hurt, right? So this is how you learn how to behave. You learn how to behave from your past. So next question is, what stimulus do you want to respond to better? So you get stimuluses. So when I mean that, it's like, does somebody wind you up? Does somebody in particular make you behave a certain way and you wish you could behave a different way? Do you see something, spiders, and want to respond a different way? So do you have a stimulus that you know that it makes you go, I want to change that, I want to change the response to that? At the moment, I behave like this. When X happens, I behave like Y. So what you want to do is change Y, right? So what is your X? What is it that makes you want to behave that way? So I'm going to stop the recording, come back to section 3 when you've done it, write it down, have a little think about it, and get back to me. Thank you very much. I will see you soon on number 3.